The American West during the Gilded Age. Let's first talk about mining for gold and silver. The American West was very sparsely populated until people began to strike precious metals in this region. The newly discovered gold prompted mass migration to states like California, but also to U.S. territories in the region. The gold and silver rush prompted the quick growth of major cities like San Francisco. The influx of miners also brought about a need for services like bars, restaurants, and laundries. The gold and silver rush prompted economic development and industrial development even outside of the mining sector. While mining was the spark that first brought people westward, it was not the only incentive for moving. The U.S. government also played a major role in the population and development of the American West. They passed major legislation such as the Homestead Act, the Timber Culture Act, the Timber and Stone Act, and the Desert Land Act, all of which had slightly different parameters, but each allowed Americans to get large swaths of land in the West for very cheap. The government also passed the Pacific Railroad Acts, which prompted corporations to begin construction on a transcontinental railroad. This rail line connected the eastern and western states and significantly cut travel times, which allowed for an increase in business activity and let people move westward more easily. However, this increase in population, industrial capacity, and business did not come without a cost. The cost here was native land and lives. In order to clear land to allow for white settlers, the U.S. government waged many wars against the natives and in many cases completely upended native societies. Take, for instance, the Long Walk of the Navajo. The U.S. government forced the Navajo people to move from their land in Arizona hundreds of miles to New Mexico. During this trek, many natives died and they lost an important piece of their culture, their native land. Another example of conflict is the Massacre of Wounded Knee. U.S. soldiers killed several hundred unarmed Lakota men, women, and children. There were numerous other conflicts that resulted in many native deaths, such as the Battle of Little Bighorn and the Plains Indian Wars, just to name a few. So while the U.S. began to fill her territories with people, the people who for generations had inhabited those territories suffered greatly. That wraps up our video on the American West during the Gilded Age, and thank you for watching.